Yeah, it was pretty decent upbringing aside from my parents sending me coercing me to go to a Christian high school. That was the worst.
Dude, that's a horny ass campus. Was it just guys or co-ed?
Co-ed.
Oh,
uniforms,
dude, yeah.
fucking uniforms.
Still though, horny ass campus, I bet.
Yeah, and a lot of meth use, especially from the girls.
Wow.
And I joined. I was like the only dude that did meth. You know a little game I have? I would do crystal meth with girls in high school in their bedroom and still not hook up.
By the way, first out-of-town comic. Sean, how you fucking doing?
There we go.
I'm doing well. What's up?
Plug all your shit. Plug your Instagram or...
At Sean Lubin on all socials. SeanLubin.
Oh, yeah. Like, where are you from, really, with your comedy? Where did you start, and, like, what's your base?
I started in Los Angeles. My first 7-8 years of stand-up were in Hollywood, L.A.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so you're used to driving a lot. You're used to road trips. And right now, you're on a road trip. You're here in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You just took a shower at my place, actually. This is the Comic Halfway House.
I just
Damn, bro, I gotta do that next.
Cole's going to take a shower next.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I just did every road comic's nightmare, which is finally land a shower on the road just as you're getting all fucking gross.
There's toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe.
And then immediately take a shit. See, that's the problem. Like, it was my butt that was getting the most gross.
Trash can over there. You got it.
No, it really is.
Hell
like,
yeah, dog.
Your house is like the new like comic soup kitchen.
It really is.
That's kinda sick.
We've had... I don't know why
But
my
instead of
parents
getting
accept
soup,
so
like,
many piece of shit
Comics
friends,
come over
but,
and they
like,
just have shrooms.
Yeah, yeah. But usually people who stay here have, like, drug problems or something. And they don't... I mean, you know, it's just we haven't admitted it's a problem. But... Yeah, we've had a couple friends in the past who were kicked out by their parents during high school or something. They came and lived with us. So, yeah, when you're like, "Can I use the shower?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead."
You think comics are harder to have stay with you? I feel like comics are just grosser. In general, as people. I don't know
Yeah,
if
they
that's
are
true
kind
or
of
not.
gross. We
Yeah,
are
some of the
gross.
grossest places I've ever been to have been comics apartments.
For
And not
sure.
even dudes. Like, I saw a girl who was living in shambles. Female comic.
Jesus Christ.
The worst I ever saw was a female comic.
We're all a mess.
And I can't believe she let me use her restroom. The condition it was in. I just can't even, to this day, I can't believe you let me go in there.
Yeah, I have a friend like that where there's like a film in the toilet. And I'm like, do you not stand up and piss? Because when I'm pissing, my stream isn't the most powerful. I'm not Squirtle, but there's stuff coming off when I'm peeing in your toilet. What's happening?
What about that thing they do? You ever like pee and then you put your finger over your tip? It's like a hose. You know what I mean? That's what they probably do. They're
Cole.
probably spraying.
Okay, also, Cole, I wanted to have both of you guys on because you share a kinship right now. Both of you have slept in a car before.
Yes.
You aren't
I'm
scared.
pretty new to it. Though.
Last night, man. The last 5 nights I slept in a car. This has been, Sunday I went to the Grand Canyon for the first time,
Ooh.
which
It's-
was cool.
Yeah, probably.
And then
Yeah.
Monday did my first Arizona open mics, did 2 of them. And then
Sick.
Tuesday did 2 open mics in Tucson.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And then Wednesday did Stir Crazy and the Woodshed.
Nice.
And then tonight going to do 2 more. So that's
Badass.
a fun road trip.
That is, yeah.
Like
today's-
it's a good scene, dude. Phoenix is a fun town to do comedy.
That's good.
Dude, Stir Crazy was off the hook. I couldn't
know,
believe
yeah.
this. Dude, it was sold out.
Yeah, Sir Crazy is a pretty good place because it will sell out because
This
it's like
fucking 125 seater
Yeah.
was
They
run it
sold
well.
out.
we run it super
Yeah,
well.
they take it seriously and they
They're-
run it well.
and they run out like they sell out like pretty consistently, like regardless of even if it's like a weekend or something.
And you wouldn't think so because of where it is. Like, it's not in the city whatsoever.
No.
It's far. But,
It is
yeah,
pretty far.
they still do very well. So,
Woodshed was fun
good
too.
for them. Woodshed is the Wild West. Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit is... It's always weird,
as I'm
man.
like poorly chalking up this guy's pool cue that he brought, like $700 thing. I'm just trying to do it all cool, and he's like, "Hey man, don't." I feel like I'm always so close to getting in a fight there.
Oh, yeah, so you were playing pool.
I was trying to be cool.
With
I was
some
doing that
guys
thing
who-
where I put the chalk
Yeah.
on the cue, but then I like tried to do it with my foot,
No!
and it was like a $700
so you were
cue.
kicking his
And he was
cue.
like, "Hey, bro, just so you know, before you ever disrespect my pool cue like that again, this thing is really nice." And I was like, "Sir, I'm barely an adult. Please forgive me. I don't know how I'm allowed in this building." It's not your fault.
Yeah, that's like fucking with John Wick's dog. That's his entire life. That's all he cares
And then I
about.
looked at it, I
is
was like,
that
shit, I
pool
didn't even
cue.
know this was yours.
Damn, dude.
That
That's
place is pretty
rough.
sick, though, but that's why I love about open mics like that, is that certain
Right.
bars are like, this could either be a fun show or someone is going to get hit over the head.
And you traveling around so much, what is like you're at a new place, you're doing a new open mic, and some sort of faux pas, like you flirt with some comic's girlfriend, you don't know this guy, or like
So this trip to Arizona this week, by the way, it's like Thursday, and I've been since Monday been doing comedy, and this trip has gone really smoothly because I was like in my head like this fucking better go smoothly because last week I did Salt Lake City, like same thing, just trying to squeeze in a bunch of mics, and it was one of the wildest roller coasters I've ever had in my entire fucking life. Like,
really?
yeah, arrived to Salt Lake City to this place Wise Guys on a Tuesday.
Okay.
So I'm just doing like 4 days out there. Get to Wise Guys, and it's a great bucket mic that they have on Tuesdays, and I'm all fucking stoked. Stoked to get up and try some new shit. Basically had 3 new minutes. Get pulled, go up, and bomb hard.
Damn.
Like bottom 5 worst sets of my life.
And it was with new stuff that you were excited about, so it's a real rough one. Yeah.
It's with new shit that like 20 seconds in, I stopped being excited about.
Yeah.
I knew what I was
yeah.
in for. I'm like, oh god, dude, this is like, like one of those sets where it's like
That shit fucking sucks.
you throw something in, like I didn't even well, with all new shit, you should never do that. By the way, if you're a comic, always sandwich your new stuff between tried and true stuff.
Yeah.
to give it a fighting chance. That's the
you
only
gotta
way.
give it.
Had
yeah,
you been to
a
Utah
fighting
before
chance.
this? Had you ever done stand up in Utah prior?
Yeah, it was my 3rd trip to Utah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Because I can't
This
imagine.
year.
I feel like that, but that would kind of throw me off too, because it's a completely different culture out there. I would imagine.
Bro,
I don't
as
know.
soon as I
I've
got,
never.
like, that's so. I'm never doing that. I'm never doing 3 new minutes on stage ever again. And I'm surprised this far into comedy that I would do that to myself. I ate shit, bro. Like the last 2
Yeah.
minutes, everything got silenced from like 60 people, 60 fucking people. So I get off stage and I straight up, if I could have, I would have dug a hole out of that club. I tried to like basically sneak out. I didn't even, like, I didn't want anyone to see me. So basically, the story arc, it goes from like fucking all excited to a dip. And someone told me about another mic in Ogden, which is like 40 minutes north of Salt Lake City. So I like speed to that because
Oh, wow.
I want to get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I want to fucking like.
You need a
I'm
chaser.
Like, oh, gotta
Yeah.
go do the hits at a bar mic, right? And I do. I drive to Ogden. I make it there in like 30 minutes. I sign up, and the room looks fucking a lot smaller, but like more intimate and good. And people are laughing. I'm like, hell yeah. So I get up. I do 7 minutes and like have a great set. Like,
Hell yeah.
Like back to normal kind of, and like everyone who sees me like networking, getting their Instagrams, I'm like, fuck yeah. So it's like story arc goes up. The next day is the big open mic at Wise Guys that they have every Wednesday. That you sign up for. You email them a week in advance, and then they let you know a day before if you're chosen. And I've done it twice already this year, and they sent me the email saying like, yeah, you're on it. And I'm like, cool. And I was already like halfway to Salt Lake. I was in like Moab when I got the email because I was just planning on them approving me. Because also I'm going out there to see Anthony Jeselnik on Friday. I have a ticket to see Anthony Jeselnik on Friday.
That is crazy
on Friday
courage just to start the drive, hoping the email comes in.
Yeah,
That is wild.
But I kind of the first 2 times I tried, it worked. And I also mentioned in the email coming out to see Anthony Jeselnik at your club on Friday. So
Right.
I assumed there's like no way they're not going to approve me for the mic, which is like a poppin' mic. The first 2 times I went there, it's like in their main room and at least 100 people. They sell tickets for. It's kind of like Stir Crazy where they sell tickets for $5 and over 100 people come out.
Sure.
Great mic, highly recommended.
Yeah, those.
So the next day I'm all stoked. I'm like getting my 3 minutes down, and it's like the mic starts at 7 and it's like 5:30, and I reread the email they sent me, and I realize it says make sure you confirm your spot with us by 4 p.m. Wednesday, or you're not gonna be on the mic.
What time is it by that?
5:15. Bro, and my heart sinks. I'm like, oh god, the club doesn't open for 15 minutes, but I call them and they answer, and I'm like, hey, is there any way you can get me on the mic list? Because I totally just dropped the ball.
Right.
And they put me on hold, and then they come back and they're like, no, sorry.
Damn.
We're really sorry. And I'm like, like,
Fuck, really?
I start to like kind of beg, and I mention like, yo, I drove over. Could you? I'm like, can you ask again and mention that I drove over 400 miles?
Yeah. God, I mean, fuck yeah, I mean, get yours.
Bro,
at that point.
I'm like pacing outside the club. My heart is racing. I feel like such a fucking dumbass.
Oh,
and she's
man.
like, she puts me on hold again, and she comes back and she goes, okay, they put you on the standby list. And if anyone says anything, just say the owner of the club okayed you, and his name is Keith. Which makes me feel so like I'm like, hell yeah, I'm on the mic, but like they had to go all the way up to the fucking owner. I feel like such a fool.
No, fuck yeah.
Do you know how embarrassed? But you know how embarrassed I fucking was. Like I go into this club and I'm just shit. And so, but then like, and then
dude, if you go up in this story and you bomb, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
So like, I'm talking to this dude before the show who knows the host, and he's like, I'm like, you think the host? Because I'm like, I'm sure I'm last on the list out of like 40 comics. I'm like,
damn,
sure.
And he knows the host. I'm like, is the host chill? You think if I gave him $20, he would put me up like 20th?
Dude, you're out here, dude. You're suited.
Since I'm out of town, it's worked before. All right,
yeah,
so,
it works.
Like giving the host $20 when you're out of town and you're like, you know, you've been traveling, sleeping in your car. It'll work sometime and get you up or a better spot. But then like half the time they'll say no and kind of be like, give you a weird look, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. The host like goes up, starts the show, comes back down. I just wanted to look at the list to see if I was on it, and I do, and I'm dead last out of 40 comics.
Oh,
and the room, it doesn't look like a very busy night. And I'm like, so I offer him $20, and it's like a hard no from him. It's like, nope, you're last, buddy. I'm like, okay, and I'm just, dude, I feel like the dumbest person in the world because the show starts, you know, comics are getting up, and the room is like a quarter filled. But as the show goes on, like it becomes like a third. Like people kept coming in and not leaving. It ends up being like 100 people.
Oh wow!
And I go up last and have one of the best sets I've ever had.
Dude, that's fucking sick.
3 minutes where they were laughing so hard, I didn't have time for my closer. Like one of those sets where you're just like you didn't account for them laughing that hard at everything.
To where your timing's thrown off from it doing so well.
No, dude, I shouldn't have.
That shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
But. Like networked hard after this, like it was great.
You were giving everyone $20 after that set, dude. You were handing out Jacksons, dog.
Of my 3 trips to Salt Lake, so finally the story arc: up, down, up, down, and up. Right. And after the show, meet a bunch of people. It's fucking dope. Then the next day, you know, do another mic that Thursday night. But I'm just chilling that day, not you know, kind of drinking, like just taking it easy. I feel like. Yeah, I did it. This trip was worth it because I had that fucking good set. And then wake up Friday morning all excited to see Anthony Jeselnik at the club and check the email again from like 2 months before when I reserved the ticket and realized, oh, the Anthony Jeselnik show I paid $40 for was the Thursday show. So I missed that fucking... I'm just out.
Isn't he here this weekend?
Yeah, he is. He's out in Phoenix. Yeah. But yeah, I went to an open mic and just kicked it instead of seeing... Yeah. Anyway,
I gotta say, as a comic or an open mic comic, you should not pay to see comedy. Go see all the comedy. Either get hooked up, sneak in, or work at the club.
Yeah,
and because I know a lot of people who work at Stand Up Live, and you just gotta walk in with your chest out.
I know some people are probably thinking too, like, oh, you were all excited to see Anthony Jeselnik. I mean, kind of, sort of, not as excited.
Wait, so was the open mic you did where you went 40th? That was the Thursday?
That was Wednesday. And then the next night, instead of seeing Anthony Jeselnik...
You just...
I didn't realize. I thought it was Friday. I thought it was a 4-day trip instead of a... Yeah. Because that's what happens when you don't have a calendar and you buy a ticket 2 months in advance and you smoke a bunch of weed and it just gets lodged in your head.
But why didn't you just go up to the box office and be like, I drove 400 miles.
Again, right?
Like, try it again. I do everything, dude. Keith, dude. I know Keith. Like,
do that twice, dude. You know how dumb they would think I was?
Okay, I know the first time.
That's the thing. Like,
exactly. But it is insane.
I'm sure that thought occurred to me, and then I was like, fuck no. They will be like, how much weed do you smoke?
Mm-hmm. That's like someone being like, knocking on your door in the middle of the night, hey, can I please crash here? And you're like, I don't know. And they're like, I travel like 500 miles. I'm like, oh, a weird traveler.
I know. And then they just say your mom's name. Like, I know so-and-so.
No, everyone loves a weary traveler, especially ladies. Dude, if he's just some mysterious guy on a first name basis type shit.
Motherfuckers I've seen get pussy in Sedona.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Growing up in Sedona, what does transient mean?
Well, I say transient. It's people who choose
come and go.
to be it's like being homeless, and then there's like people who are like, I want to stay here and not have to like worry about anything. It's like people whose parents had a little bit of money and they left, but now and it's cool.
Cole, are you describing your life right now?
Well, right now, but that's in
Come on,
Phoenix.
man.
It's not as nice. But in Sedona, there's so many
Dude,
dudes
life
like
in
that.
the big city. Gotcha, dog.
Oh my god, I was taking a nap
It's
10 minutes
rough.
ago, and there's I peed myself. I don't even know if you guys can smell it. But dude.
Did you piss my bed?
Oh yeah.
You
No.
pissed my bed.
No, I pissed our bed.
Yeah.
At this point, it's ours. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, dude, bro, kind of homeless people get pussy. I mean, not me, but you know.
Kind of homeless.
Kind of homeless people get pussy. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you can
Kind
show
of
if you can show a
homeless.
bitch a crystal and then like talk about your soul, bro.
We all had that friend who was like living with a chick, rent free. She was paying all the bills, and he was probably just giving her crazy hammer. I bet. I mean, yeah, there are those guys.
Oh, for
There are
sure.
definitely those ladies.
That's like, dude. There was a comic. There was a headliner at the club at House of Comedy, and funny ass dude. And he was totally one of those dudes that were like, I've never seen so many people after a show. It's Craig Conant. I don't know how to say his name. I've never seen so many people after a show.
Scoot over a little bit.
Oh my god, I've never seen so many people after a show like walk up to this dude. And
Yeah.
I wasn't too aware of him, but like everyone after the show was like walking up to him like, oh my god, I love like trying to meet him. And like I saw this one girl shake his hand. She called someone to tell him like, oh my god, I shook his hand. And I was like, damn, bro. But he was like one of those dudes. I wonder if that's why. It's because a lot of people wanted to fuck him. Like kind of like. transient.
Wait, is he a good comic?
Yeah, he's funny. I liked him.
Well, maybe he's good at his job.
I think it's that, but I really do think he's also like,
right.
Bro, the amount of
Yeah.
women.
All right, well, Sean, let me ask you a deep question. Why comedy? I'm kidding. No, that's it. That's a terrible question. But so, how old were you when you started comedy?
26, pretty old.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you look great for however old you are now. I
30.
don't-
I'm about to be 35 in 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
But
right
thank you,
before
man.
we
I guess-
started, you said you started smoking weed in 2003,
Yeah.
and that was like a riddle for me and him. And then you took a big bong rip and started. You went to the bathroom and you coughed a little bit. You blew your nose, and we were just talking like, "Yo, like who is this? 2003? Like how old is
I
it?"
like haven't missed a day.
Wait, you look
Like,
great. You look like you're still in your 20s. You know,
Thanks,
like
man.
yeah, you're.
well, no tobacco. I think that's the secret.
Oh, that's true.
I would
What
say
about
that's
alcohol?
prob-
Have you always drank though? Always been a drinker? Because I feel like alcohol
yeah,
makes you look
ki-
a lot older.
Well, I've never been a hard drinker.
A hard drinker, yeah. I think that's the difference. Because you watch people who drink for a long time and they look like, you could tell.
I'll go months
Right.
without alcohol.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
See, I
And-
can't,
but
I
then
don't
I'll
do- I
go
don't
like
do that.
a week drinking every day. Like there's no
Right.
pattern to it whatsoever.
That's when it's
weird.
harder to. Yeah, when it's harder to manage.
But
It's more.
Here's the thing.
sporadic.
I've done more acid than anyone I know.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yes.
We just, certainly.
No
Yeah.
pushback on that one. That's A-okay with me. I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Acid is pretty sick, though. I don't
I've never-
think I'd do it again.
I've never had good
I feel
acid.
like I have done it a lot. You ever had good acid? Like you've always had bad trips?
No, I've only
What do you mean, like,
had
it tastes
like
it?
25i type shit where it's like synthetic and I don't know. It's just any experience that people talk about on acid. I'm like,
I feel like I've never had bad acid.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to check out
I've had I
Salt
think
Lake
I've
City,
had like
yeah.
non-acid. I think someone
Sure.
told me just paper
non-acid,
once.
Yes.
Right.
Which, by the way,
non-bread
that's
acid?
genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the easiest
Well,
drug
'cause-
to rip off. Just cut up some fucking index cards, put them in tinfoil, boom, and then give them a fake number, and then
Again,
Yeah.
fucking
Dude, if
50
you're
bucks.
just like hitting open mics, that's actually ingenious.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just hitting open mics and you need some extra
Well,
scratch,
if you're at a place you
Come
know
on.
you're never gonna be again.
you need to make it back to LA,
Cutting the-
dog. You gotta.
cutting the-
No, don't do that, people.
Before you
Don't
go to
do
open
that.
mic, cutting the tiniest squares.
I mean, you should always
Piece
rip
of
off
paper.
teenagers, but
Always rip off teenagers shirts, pants. I'm kidding, but yeah, there's a big market for that. Just Google where the local skate shop is, or skate park. That's even better because that's in the wilderness. That's how you really catch them. Like a David Attenborough thing. Like here was the local drug dealer going into the skate park.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, hey guys, I used to skateboard. Let me try something. He tries to kickflip and he like busts his ass. And he's like, oh no.
One guy, that guy's always so funny. I
Right.
remember being at the skate park and it was just that dude. He was
With like, he has a beer gut, but the tiniest legs. He doesn't. I don't know what he does for work. I don't know if those types of guys who are built like that do anything. But yeah, you know the build I'm talking about.
have you ever skated, Sean?
No, but I was obsessed with CKY
Okay.
when I was
I
like,
could believe that you.
when I was in middle
There's something
school,
in that
dude.
category.
CKY and Jackass, that was my shit.
Absolutely.
I thought I was going to be a stuntman, kind of.
Oh wow, really?
Just like, or like a comedic Johnny Knoxville,
That's what- yeah, right,
Bam
'cause-
Margera type actor who like hurt himself on camera, basically.
You're right. Yeah.
Jumped off shit, jumped into
That
shit.
was definitely, I think.
I was a film major because I made skate videos basically.
Oh wow.
Wow.
All through high school, I had a camera. I filmed.
So you were skate adjacent because of the filmmaking. Really,
There wasn't
you're
much skating. It was just basically the shit in skate videos that isn't skating.
That's like the culture,
especially CKY. I saw that shit when I was like in 7th grade. I
Okay.
downloaded it on Kazaa or Napster.
Are there any videos that
and
I can?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Are there any videos of yours that I can find and like clip in right here?
I have an old one, and it's a
Okay.
private video on YouTube.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I
Maybe
I have one of my old skate videos from way back.
That's
way
wait.
back
So
in
you're
the
calling
day.
them a skate video, but it's everything but like you
There's
with
a little-
shopping
there-
carts.
It's like 3% skating.
It's
Always with
right,
a gimmick. Always like
Right.
throwing something at someone while
It's
they're
like-
skating. Or like,
It's like, hey, let me bomb this hill with the security guard at the bottom, and I'm gonna hit him going
we were
35.
Pyros. We were fucking pyros. We set ourselves on fire. We set everything on fire.
You were
So you really were,
collecting
like, stunned,
evidence,
but
and you're
that
like,
was, like,
I'm a
stunt
film
shit.
major,
Yeah.
and you're just setting things
Basically,
on fire.
like, yeah, covering your skateboard in alcohol, setting it on fire, jumping off a bush and shit, like riding a BMX bike into a bush, and then the soundtrack is all like System of a Down and fucking flogging Molly and
It's like a straight up rip. Yeah. I did some jackass shit with some neighborhood kids because we had the first person to get a phone with a camera on it back in the day. It was like 2006 or 8. And we were all just fucking around. Me and my brother would go hard because no one wanted to hurt anyone else besides like us. We were just like comfortable with that. And one time we were supposed to run at each other and jump over a bench at the same time and clothesline each other. And it's kind of like jousting. Like whoever got the other one first wins. And my brother got some reach on me, and he clipped me in the neck over the bench. I just fell back and completely, like Bane, type shit. Just like bent my back. But I was flexible, and I was like 10, so you just like bounce back. And you're like, that was crazy, But nowadays, I would snap in half, completely, right? Like imagine getting clotheslined onto a bench, a park bench. It's yeah.
See, that was like a thing that I think everyone at that
We got the footy, though.
When everyone is going through that age or that era, it's everyone did shit like that. Like
You gotta
I remember I used to
enunciate
running
more,
away from
Cole.
my uncle while I was naked. That's not
Wait,
the point. You know what I
what?
mean? No.
dude, one video.
Just
Tell me more
was
about
just
your
kidding.
pyrotechnic videos.
trying to be
Well,
funny.
there's one video of me. I was in like 7th, 8th grade, and I'm just sitting there, and then my friend just throws a full box of Wheat Thins right at my face.
Why?
That's a funny
And
choice.
the camera's just framed perfectly. Like for 7th graders, it's a hell of a shot. And like I saved it. I like still have the digital video, and I uploaded it on TikTok. #Wheat Thins. I think it's been the #1 on #Wheat Thins for like 3 years.
Hashtag Wheat Thins. Hell yeah, dude.
It got 42,000 likes on TikTok,
Wow.
and like yeah.
Yeah. Man.
But the box exploded when it hit me in the face too.
That
The box was open. The kind of like plastic
Yeah.
inside part was kind of open. He chucked it at my face, and Wheat Thins exploded everywhere.
perfect direction. Great cinematography.
And I would
gotta
never
say-
let someone do that now. You know what I mean?
True.
Like back
Yeah.
then, I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah, fuck it.
That is true.
Because that was all I was consuming was people hurting themselves. Like
So you're like,
Right.
let me do that the best. I can do that better.
those were my heroes. I'm like, well, this is the road to success.
That is
Their lifestyle
so
is kind of
insane.
it's like an attractive lifestyle though to do that, like regardless of just hurting yourself. Like
Like
living like that is to be that crazy. I mean, I'd watch
I
Jackass
think it's
and
dumber
be like,
to try to be a musician in a band.
Sure, well, yeah,
I think
well,
that's dorkier and stupider than like taking
then stapling your
hurting-
balls to your leg.
or like backyard wrestling. I would say.
then putting a midget in a wetsuit and putting him in a fat man's ass. That is less dorky than learning how to. And I get it because
Bands are the dorkiest thing in the world to me, dude.
it's hard to schedule.
It's-
Like imagine trying to schedule like this was impossible, and you guys
I
are
wasn't
like
supposed to
you're
be awake.
You guys are stray cats. Yeah, like I had to bring him in with a shower. You got some milk. Like
I'm renting a room from a family of raccoons.
Yeah,
in a trash can.
I'm renting out the bottom drawer of my dresser to
Yeah.
you right
I
now.
have this apartment with 4 wheels and 0 bathrooms.
It's not even your apartment; it's your mom's apartment.
Technically, yes.
That's also a car.
But I see what you're saying. I don't know if it's. I would say it's dumber. What I think it is like it's easier to see risk when you're trying to get big by like doing something like fucking hurting yourself all the time.
Yeah.
It's easier to
here's the
judge.
thing.
But in reality, they really were blowing the fuck up. I mean, they were superstars.
Right.
I mean, that's like
And it's also not that dissimilar. I think it's closer to comedy than music.
for sure.
Hurting yourself on
Okay,
camera,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
getting
yeah.
laughs
They
with
were
that
all.
shit.
They were all.
You know what I
kind of
mean?
comics.
like Bam
I mean,
Margera beating his dad's ass is still funny.
Or like
That-
a really good prank video.
It
and
was
like,
domestic violence, but it's so funny because it's primal, it's fun, it's in good nature.
Dude, just
That shit
like
is
videos
so
of like
fun.
Johnny Knoxville dressing up as an old guy and just slowly after he tells him to stop stealing stuff. And what do you know that video? John, he does that, the old dude, and he's just stealing, like pretending to steal stuff from his store so blatantly, and the guy keeps telling him to stop, and every time he stops, he reaches for something else, and it's stupid because there's like, but it's like the nuance. But they were actual comics, I think. I consider Johnny Knoxville like a comedian of sorts. You know,
that was
I
a
mean,
golden era. Like I saw the Jackass 4, the
Yeah.
most recent Jackass in movie theaters, and it was one of those things where I was just like, that was awful. That
Yeah,
should have
really?
been
Well, it
that
wasn't
should have
the
been a
same.
2-hour like that should have been a
Whoa.
2-hour MTV special.
Hot take.
Hot.
Should have been an
Big Couch,
MTV
Little
special.
Couch
Like I can't
exclusive.
believe I paid money to see what should have been a TV special.
Yo,
Interesting,
you
but
drove
these-
400 miles to it. No, but yeah.
Sorry to the comics who
not-
were in that movie, but I don't even know them. They're LA. There's an
Poopies?
LA comic in
How
that movie.
dare you talk about
Andre
poopies
was
that
in it,
way?
Poopies,
No, yeah, Eric Andre,
But it's
which
one of those-
I love Eric Andre. The
Love
Eric
Eric Andre.
Andre show is
great.
I don't know, yeah, very
I love it.
avant-garde,
I
similar
love
to
it,
Jackass interview type show, but that is a lot
It's
of
like Dadaist.
yes.
It's like a fucking surrealism. Like
But I feel like also it's probably hard for like you. It's like watching any kind of sequel after the original is so like the first few of them were so great. 'Cause
Yeah.
then they always release a later one, and it's just different now because they have all these new people and everything's changed so much. And I didn't even get to see it, but I can imagine why. It would be
that is so
different from-
crazy because you're the first person to ever say anything bad about that movie. And you weren't being contrarian about it. You were an honest fan of the franchise, but with that last movie, it was just not your thing.
I felt like it shouldn't have been in theaters. That's all.
Oh, wow, straight to DVD. I mean, that doesn't exist
it
anymore.
should have been
Anymore.
like, hey, MTV's airing this like documentary about Jackass and kind of with some new stunts in it and like some new people.
Was,
But
it,
like,
was that what it was more like to you? A documentary?
I thought the first. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's I need to be like 16 to really see a Jackass movie in theaters,
That's-
and
no, but well,
you know, or maybe the first one was better. I don't know.
Maybe life is fleeting
thing,
and
I-
happiness
I
has
really-
never existed, and you're just never gonna
I
feel
just
that
want to
same
see
ever
a guy
again.
put a fucking hook through his mouth.
In the CKY skate,
Put a car in your ass. Yeah.
in the CKY skate videos, they're like shitting on windows and restaurants and shit. Like it's shit that would have never been on MTV. So I feel like it's been progressively getting worse for
Well,
20,
I think, but
20
I
years.
also
I
think
don't
they're
know.
older
Yo,
now.
I
And
just-
there probably is a limit where now they're like, okay, we're not
Committing
we're gonna fuck
domestic
ourselves.
terrorism
Right.
of wiping feces on a
I know,
restaurant
that's-
window.
it was gnarly.
That is insane. But I don't know.
Everything's
like,
changed so much.
What if they
You could
what if
post
they
that
went
now.
to Don Vito in prison and just beat him up? Like, hey, hey, my name is Bam, and I'm gonna be beating up Don Vito all day today. He comes in with a shank, like, God damn it, Bam! Stop! Hey, stop!
Dude, that was
Stop
just
it.
so funny. Such a classic. Him just hitting his dad.
Going crazy out there, you guys. Oh my god, that was so. And our poor parents, because they wanted to be cool and accepting of like, oh, they're just into that. But some of the shit that we were watching as kids was so off the
Well, my mom
wall
always
and a
claimed-
bad influence.
I remember when I got
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 4, and my mom always claimed she thought it was like a racing game, which I think is bullshit. I think she knew. It was,
No,
I
it's a
don't
racist
think-
game.
But then, yeah, right.
Yes.
And then she saw me play it, and she was like, all she kept saying, you just keep beating up hookers. And I was like, no, not just hookers. You beat up anyone in that
Yeah.
game. But it is a weird thing. To
Like
think
father, like son, you know?
that- No, they always got the best of him. They never beat him.
I'm not sleeping with these women. I'm wrestling, babe. Come on. Just some mono. Blood sport.
Yeah, I was just told they were our maids, our house cleaners,
Uh,
women in lingerie.
Did you, how was your upbringing, Sean? Did you have a lot of video games, like good upbringing?
Yeah, it was pretty decent upbringing. Aside from my parents sending me or coercing me to go to a Christian high school.
Oh no,
That was the worst.
You didn't
That
like
was-
that? I hear such good things about Christian high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
private
I'm
Christian
shocked
high
you didn't
school.
like
That was the worst.
dude, that's a
Well,
horny ass campus. Was it just guys or co-ed?
co-ed.
Oh, dude,
uniforms, fucking uniforms. And,
Still though, horny ass campus. I bet.
yeah, and a lot of meth use, especially from the girls.
Wow.
And I joined.
didn't
I was like the only dude that did meth.
Hey, excuse me.
Straight up. All right, you want to know how little?
male feminist? You have a shirt on while doing that?
You want to know how little game I have? I would do crystal meth with girls in high school in their bedroom and still not hook up.
That's fucking great.
Dude,
You want to hear the craziest story though, dude? All right,
Yes.
so I
Please.
never tweaked that much, but like, so I was like 17 and kind of doing some meth and like not that experienced with it, and thought I was coming down one night. Like went to bed, like was laying in bed, like, oh, I'm sure I'll fall asleep. But the thing about crystal meth, when you've been like tweaking for 24, 36 hours, you don't come down. Like you start hallucinating for like
Really?
12, 16 hours.
Wow.
Like you don't sleep. And I thought I was about to sleep, and instead I'm laying in my bed and like look out my window and see kids partying on my balcony, like shadow people basically, because it's so dark. But there wasn't even a balcony outside my window.
Oh,
like I should have
wow.
known this, right? Should have known my own house. But I go outside to confront these. I get out of my bed to confront these dudes, and they like jump off the balcony and run away. And I'm like, holy shit! And I fall backwards, knock over my acoustic guitar. My parents come in. It's like 2 a.m. They're like, what's going on? And I'm like, Mom, Dad, there's people on our property.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh no.
They're like,
that's
really?
a classic, dude.
they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I lead my mom downstairs. I open the front door, and I see a kid in a red sweatshirt. Just like, sees me and my mom, turns around and bolts. And I'm like, Mom, did you see the kid in the red sweatshirt? She's like, no. I'm like, huh, what the fuck? So I go in my backyard. I see a guy and a girl making out in my backyard, go out to confront them, and it's as I get closer, it's just a rose bush. So it's like you're starting.
Well, you started to process that it was a rosebush when you got close
yeah,
enough?
and so I, for some reason, didn't think like I'm coming down on meth. I should shut the fuck up because like this is just drug related.
Right.
I was like dissociated and thought it was all fucking real so I go to the side of my house where the kids jumped off the balcony where my parents' trash cans were, and there's a dude laying down in a sleeping bag. And I go up to fucking see what the fuck is up with him, and he looks at me, spins the sleeping bag over himself, and disappears into nothing. And
Like the Cheshire Cat from.
yeah, he's fucking spun into nothing. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, okay, that was my first real hint when I'm like, okay, fuck, dude, I need to maybe shut up. But I didn't. Like all night,
But then he
all
didn't.
night I was like seeing shit in the house. I thought I saw like I was just, and then the next morning was Sunday morning, so my parents take me to church.
The Lord's Day. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh no. Yeah.
because they're like, yeah, you need some Jesus.
G is what you've had. You need some G.
And they take me to this church at this like high school gymnasium, and I look up in the rafters, and during the sermon, I see little monkey cheerleaders up on top of the rafters, like watching the sermon with pom poms. And it was really just lighting fixtures and light bulbs with wiring. But like, I was like, no, I see them, like little tree monkeys, like dressed like cheerleaders.
Were you mentioning this at the time?
I turned to my mom and I'm like, Mom, do you see like monkey cheerleaders in the rafters of the church?
Fuck, man.
And she just burst into tears.
Oh.
I know. It's like, fuck.
Yo, that's
After the sermon ends, my parents take me up to the front.
By the way, if you want me to go to church more, not a bad idea to have monkey cheerleaders. I'm gonna just say, if you had monkey cheerleaders, I'd show up to
Dude,
church.
the
church
shit
every-
you hallucinated on meth is so creative.
yeah, right.
I mean, I'm sold. All right, I got it. Okay,
Okay,
you're
so
like,
then after-
wait. So you're telling me you start tripping after you're already high? I'm like, all right, I'm sold.
Exactly. When
Gotcha.
you think you come down, and then comes the fucking grand finale. But they take me up to the front of the church to meet this pastor who's pretty out there and like very, supernatural minded. And they're like, I don't know, our son was like seeing visions last night.
No.
Because that's the thing. If you're ever on drugs, by the way, and you have hardcore Christian parents, blame visions. Say you're having
Yeah.
spiritual visions. It'll get you out of a drug test.
Xanax didn't hurt my boy. The devil crashed his car.
Right.
I'm like,
But-
he's on 5 bars. Yeah.
So this out there pastor, my mom's like, yeah, he's been having visions all night, and he saw monkey cheerleaders in the rafters of the gymnasium, and the pastor goes, "Oh, they're there. What you saw is real. They're
Why?
up there. What you saw, those monkeys are mocking the word of God. That's what they're doing." Like,
So, in his mind, he is
Where was it?
justifying.
Is it in California or no?
yeah, this is in Moore Park, California.
Okay.
What the fuck, man? Why would you? You're 17 and so impressionable and coming down off of a binge. So, you hearing that, man, dude, this is a pivotal story.
It took 3 more years. I went freshman year to a Christian college. I went to the Bible Institute of Los Angeles.
Oh wow.
That was my freshman year. I was like the only party kid there.
I bet like 5 people go there nowadays. Like
I knew every kid that drank, and we would all drink together.
Yeah.
Damn.
And,
That's
like they were
crazy.
upperclassmen.
Did you want to go to the Bible University?
I was about to go back sophomore year. I had my dorm ready to go. It was like a month out from returning, and I took 8 hits of acid, and
And you were like, "Fuck
all
this."
of my religious beliefs melted away, and have never come back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I just realized, like, I don't believe this. I just like
Right.
this is shit this is like unfalsifiable claims.
they don't even
that,
have monkeys and fucking
like,
cheerleading
And
outfits here.
it dawned on me, faith is gullibility, and I shouldn't be gullible, because like they're calling gullibility faith, and that's how they're getting away with this bullshit.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all just a set of principles that you need to set up, and it's easier to. I think we talked about this last night, but it's easier to follow rules when the guy who wrote them is dead. Because who are you going to blame? It's the whole thing of like, I don't make the rules, I just hung them up and enforce them, okay?
Well, the best quote I've ever heard about religion is, I'd rather have questions I can't answer than answers I can't question.
Fucking bars, dude.
Yeah.
Bars.
That sums how I feel
It's-
about religion, belief. Spirituality too, I think, is nonsense. I never meet a person who hasn't make it. Every
That's
time
so
I meet a
funny.
person who's, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. It's like, well, you're into like astrology
Right.
and like a whole bunch of like.
It means
to me,
that-
Well,
nonsense.
I was talking
like-
to him about that last night because I was talking about how I would consider myself more spiritual, but I don't believe in the astrology. And I think actually in reality, if you think about any kind of faith you have based on something that's like, it's still a form of religion. You're still looking for something. You're trying to find an answer. It's still like, you can say spirituality is better than religion because it's not Christianity, whatever. It's this. You're also being like, I believe this and this because I don't want to. You know what I mean?
I call spirituality.
You're looking for an answer.
I call spirituality religion 1.0. Because you're just you're running the basic formula of religion
Yeah.
without any of the frills, but that's basically it. You want to live forever.
Yeah.
That's the only reason
No,
you're spirit.
it's-
I want to have a
yeah.
spirit that never dies, right? I never really have to die. That's like every religious person.
Religion, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like
That's
it's
it.
the basis. It's trying to
Every
find an answer for death. It's the fear of death. And all that
Everyone
shit.
wants to be able to customize it, and I mean, me too. I always wanted to. Everyone wants to be special, and anything that happens to be a small opinion of yours, you exaggerate it if it happens to be contrary. Like, for you, maybe Jackass Forever wasn't your cup of tea, but
I'm
you
just
were
so
saying
excited.
it's
Here's the
dog
thing.
shit.
Maybe I was just
Bullshit.
Maybe I was just too excited for it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. My expectation was
Right.
like
You
this-
assaulted a minimum wage worker who's like a ticket taker, you know, like someone who's
remember-
definitely subsidized by the government, if you know what I mean.
I thought that movie was gonna fucking get me back into jumping into bushes.
You wanted a reason to commit suicide happily, and you're like, God damn it, no! Who the fuck is Poopsies?
No, I just got my heart broken by this girl, and I remember like I was talking to my friend about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see Jackass, and that's gonna make me feel better. And my friend just goes, "Love is fleeting, but Jackass is forever."
Was that an advertisement for the movie?
It was the best advertisement ever.
Wow, that's
But just spoken. I have these poetic Durango friends.
so. Going back to the meth arc. So when was the last time you touched meth?
It's been at least a decade.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say it's been at least a day, and I'm like, oh fuck,
At
boy.
least a decade. That was my.
That's good,
that
man.
was like a teenage Sean thing.
Yeah.
Your teenage phase.
I'm
was
not anti-meth.
meth.
I'm not anti-meth. I think all drugs are fine.
We are not anti-meth here.
Bro, that experience, I look back at that experience, and I'm like, that'd be fun to do again, to have a bunch of fucking people at my house that aren't
What about
really
a
there.
small, like, what is?
Chase a bunch of people off my property that aren't really there. That's kind of fun.
Let's
It's
say,
an
like-
entertaining night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Compared to just
True.
like
I tell my
playing,
I tell
playing
my
video
mom to
games.
shadow people. She's like African American.
Yeah, and she's like, no, we made them move out of our neighborhood, sweetie.
Jesus.
No,
They were
We're
all white.
talking about
All the
Sedona.
kids I was seeing were white, by the way. I was seeing all white kids.
Kind of
Racist.
Kind of close-minded.
Didn't hire any black actors in his hallucinations.
All of my hallucinations, they're all.
All
it's
of
a
my
color wheel.
hallucinations,
fully
Punjabi
diverse.
queens, Middle
Yep.
Eastern women, black women of color who are midgets in a wheelchair. I have everyone.
I'm very diverse
I would suck at booking shows because when people start booking shows and they put on something, they're like,
Whoa, Nelly.
I'll put on some of my friends and then some of the other comics I really like. And then after a while, what happens is it starts cracking of like, well, why didn't you have a black female on the lineup? Why didn't you have this? Why didn't you have that? And they start getting those people, and those are good comics. But then when you're booking a show, it gets out of the reins are out of your hands at that point.
Dude, I've
and
se-
you're at the whims of what you think people want from you.
Have you ever seen a show where it's all white dudes and they're kind of like tongue in cheek about it? Like the kind of like, yep, the show's all a fucking. You know what I mean? I've seen like
totally.
a couple. It's really rare, but every now and then
Yeah.
it'll be a show of all white.
true.
Like, you can't straight up have an all white male show and book it that way and be like, yeah, all white. But sometimes they'll just like play Incubus and like in the story for it, just make a little joke like, come out for some non-diversity, LOL, like laughing at themselves or whatever. But in some markets, it's honestly like, if it's like 4 people on the bill, you'll see all white dudes, and it's just like kind of, yeah.
You know what's weird is like, I think it's common to see mainly white dudes, but so far from doing comedy, I've never once been to a show where it hasn't been at least. I don't think even that's a conscious thing. I think it just happens to be that there are a lot of comedy itself. I feel is pretty diverse. I don't know if that's true or
It's
not.
a Jewish and a black craft that Scottish people. I swear to God, it's Jewish and a black.
Well, there's a lot
thing
more female
that
comics than I realized too in this.
Yeah,
There's a decent
and
amount.
Scottish Irish people have taken it. You know, we're third. I'd say like Irish people are just sad as fuck.
Honestly,
Catholic, Bostonian.
stand-up comedy is at least 40% Jewish. I'm half, including
really
the
think so?
half Jews like me.
I don't
You
even
know what I
think
mean?
it's that
Really?
high. I don't even think it's that high.
That would be my guess. Like, there's definitely a
It's
lot.
it might be the largest demographic out of all of it, but well, maybe not. I don't even know.
Yeah, which is wild to think. Because last night I remember bringing up the statistic before the Holocaust, there was more Jewish people in the world than there are now. Could you imagine doing comedy back then?
Right.
Yeah, and also I'm so influenced by Jewish writers like Larry David or Seinfeld and shit like that, where it naturally bleeds into American culture, even though they're like barely 2% or something. It's a very small percentage
Mhm.
of people who are actually Jewish. Speaking of which, check out Ari Shafir's new special Jew. It's actually very good.
I've been wanting to see that.
It's not like a super like it's not one-liners. It's not gonna like be John Mulaney. It's long stories and explanations and observations that are very good.
Nice.
Very good in there. Yes, check out those smaller comics, you guys. Absolutely. So why don't you have a podcast running out of your? I would listen to like a road trip pod.
Yeah, I try to not spread myself too thin.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's the
You're
thing.
already traveling heavy
All
somewhere.
my favorite comics don't spread themselves thin. You know what I mean?
You're right. I've been trying to spread myself thin, but I'm just so fat right now.
That's one of the most impressive things about Bo Burnham. Fucking
For sure.
Bo Burnham does an
Burnham's
interview every 2 years.
Yeah.
It makes them special and like you know what I mean?
You're right. And some people just straight up don't do interviews. Daniel Tosh,
Yeah,
once he
straight
got
up.
that show, he's just like, my schedule should change because it's different now. Like, you can want to be grounded, and I'll go hit open mics after I'm making 20,000. No, that's crazy. Right?
I'm the same way with releasing clips of my comedy. Like I don't. That's not the point of me doing comedy. Like if and I'll release little clips. You know what I mean? I feel like I've gotten pretty bad at TikTok. I was good at it at first, and now I'm just kind of like I want to get good at comedy because it's easy to get rusty. You know,
Oh,
you-
yeah.
a week or 2 or 3, especially a month off comedy,
Oh,
which
God.
I did this year. And
Ooh.
God damn it.
What happened with the month?
Was really enjoying Durango. Was enjoying where I was living, and that summer was just, I've never experienced a summer that was that mild.
So you were a human for a month.
Oh, dude, I was in my first summer.
You had fun.
First
you
summer
lived
in the
life.
first
Yeah.
summer living in the Rocky Mountains. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm glad I didn't like keep the hustle up this summer. I took basically took July off to just hike and chill.
I know. I
and-
love that part of it is almost like, why did I do that? And then in reality, you're just like taking
Then
care
you
of
like
yourself.
you
That's
in
really
your
what it is.
head, dude. After a month off, in your head, you think you're gonna get right back into it, and like I'm still knocking off the rust.
Sure.
It's been
Yeah, 100%.
3 months of getting up, maybe 3 times a week, and it's still like you have to get up 7 times a week to really.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, the shit that you kick your like, man, like you get on stage like 6 times in 3 nights. And there's all this shit you realize, the timing of this joke I'm getting closer to. And there's all this shit that you're like realizing. But then after a fucking few days, it kind of dissipates and you forget the specific things you need to work on. And you kind of like...
Because I have no organization or a legend with my notes. A star doesn't mean anything different than a dash or a bullet point. Like, it's all different scrambled notes and ideas. And I'm not one to write out word for word the bit. That... I do it on stage because I don't know how to replicate how I speak on stage in person. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think
I
anyone
think it's vice
truly-
versa too, because I would prefer to write a joke, try it, and then the joke is gonna be different when I do it on stage because that's how I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
I don't even sometimes I don't even like to fully write things out or write things at all because if I'm gonna do a bit,
Because you can't read and write, and it's
that's
honestly
true.
very hard.
Well, that's
Yes.
true too. I mean, I'm legally blind.
Really?
No.
I thought you
But-
were legally blonde.
I'm actually I'm colorblind. I see everyone equal.
You
Anyway, no,
slept
but
on my
so-
floor last
I
night.
did sleep on your
We've
floor. It
got to
felt
break
great.
that
It
down
felt
next.
great. My hips feel awful, but no, but once I do it on stage, that is how I'm gonna do it, and I prefer to write that version down. If that makes any sense, I'll write it to the best of my ability because I'm not gonna write. I'm not gonna read it as if I was I'm not gonna go on stage and read it like I'm reading it off a book. I'm gonna just say it naturally, how
Yeah.
as funny as I can make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the struggle I found is with stand-up comedy is the joke is in your head, and then it's all about figuring out how it's supposed to be told, the right
Yeah,
beats. And that can take months. You know, or it can be pretty fucking
It depends.
quick.
Yeah, it just
like,
depends. I think on the right. I mean, I don't know, but you're still it could totally take months.
Well, longer jokes. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
I have this longer joke where it's like I feel so weird telling a joke that takes about 30 seconds. Like it gets like an applause break at the end, but it's
The
so hard
silence-
walking them there
the
without
silence
getting
is
big.
fucking
Right,
deafening, dude.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
even silence. It's just like it's weird too. Like until you've really tried a joke out like 50 to 100 times, it'll surprise you. Like, why are people laughing at that part? Like the unfunny premise part. But it's all scientific. It's like you eventually realize why they're laughing at this, why they're laughing at that. A lot of it has to do with cadence, with rhythm, with the pattern you've set up. Like I've noticed if I have like a bunch of short jokes in a row, where it's like no more than 10 seconds to a punchline, and that keeps happening, I'll say the premise to a longer joke, and the whole room will laugh at just the premise. Because they're expecting that to have been it. They're just like used to that.
Right. Well, although sometimes people laugh at the structure. Like
Yes.
if you go to people are laughing.
Oh,
'cause they
I know a lot of
Audiences
comics.
are dumb.
They are. They kind of.
It's kind of like a rapper who says nothing, but he has the best
But it's-
fucking flow.
Right, no, kind of, because if you say it
Yeah.
in a
Dumb,
joke
but
form, they will subconsciously understand you're doing it in a joke form, and they might even laugh at something that's
Yeah.
not even. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like.
You can say nonsense like
They're not dumb. They're like hypnotizable.
Yeah.
you ever have a purple duck on your pussy? Well, last time I said that, I was like, "Dad, get out of the locker room."
But that's
It-
the cadence.
Yeah, like, and
You
that's
know,
a
it's-
natural cadence that a lot of people pick up through like cheap shit, like comedy classes. Did you ever go to a comedy class?
No, so being from LA, both of my siblings were successful child actresses,
Oh my god.
What?
and I got dragged along.
And you just did math. That's a rough one, dog. I mean, it's a tough follow. I gotta say, that is a tough follow. Childhood actress, you aren't even a lady. Like, how do you follow that?
I got dragged along to all of the auditions too.
Wow.
Are you the
and
younger
without-
brother? Were
I was
you
the middle brother. I got
wow.
dragged along to every audition and call back, so I know exactly what it's like to be a child actor, minus like
minus the fame and
booking the show.
accolades.
And I just knew. My mom asked me when I was 4 years old. I think she like kind of steered me to not act. I think she put it this way. She was like, "Do you want to be an actor like your sisters, or do you want to be a normal kid?" She like straight up kind of like.
What did your sisters do to deserve that?
She
though?
She put it that way. She's like, "Or do you want to have like a normal childhood?" She put it to me in a loaded way where I'm like, "Oh, I think I want to have a normal child," because I think my mom kind of saw what they were going through, and she was like,
So
she was an actress too. She was on The Young and the Restless, and like,
Holy shit.
What?
yeah, she like
What?
successful actress in the 80s.
Dude.
She was in a movie
so-
with John Travolta.
So was she? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So was she the one who's spearheading our daughters need to be actresses?
My dad was in show business too.
Well, and what did he do?
He's been in radio for over 60 years.
And now
Oh
we're
my
doing
God,
the
Sean,
bastardized version. Of
I know,
We're doing
I
the
know.
bad version of radio.
Somewhere in Florida, my dad is shedding a
Yeah, he's
tear
shedding a tear.
at this
He's like,
podcast.
Just
why- he's
peeling
like, why does
orange.
my skin
Yeah.
burn right now?
I brought rock music to FM.
Damn, that's crazy.
All right, you know him from disappointing me endlessly. It's my son, Sean.
No, he wasn't a disc. He wasn't. No, he wasn't a disc jockey or anything.
Oh, no?
He's dude. When he was my age, he was president of the radio division of the American Broadcasting Company.
Jesus
What the
Christ.
fuck,
President of ABC Radio.
dude? Damn,
Yeah,
that is so crazy. So as a kid,
you could call him a mogul. He's a radio mogul.
that does sound derogatory, though. That word does sound like a bad
Fucking
word.
mogul.
Yeah. We got a lot
I
of
should've
Middle
said it like
Eastern
that. That
dudes
sounded
here.
like-
I don't
Radio
know.
mogul brings to mind the ugliest sunglasses. That is.
Yeah. It reminds me of a guy who was promoted out of a strip club somehow into this position, and he's like,
Right, I always expect
Yeah.
the new Teslas don't have FM or AM radios, and my dad like writes them a letter, right?
Yeah. That's wild. So when you're coming up and you have all these influences of show business, acting, and all that, and your mom points that question to you, you still remember that very vividly because it's such a weird wording. So do you think that she had some regret on her choices as an actress or what she's doing to the kids?
Yeah.
Little both,
Well, you
or-
know what it was? I don't think she wanted all three of her kids to be child actors. She wanted a control for the study. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She wanted
right.
to be like, because if all three are actors, you can't tell if it's acting to fuck them up or if all
Yeah.
three, if it's your genetics. So she wanted
Just
to
like
have me
improv.
as-
Yeah.
But her
You ever
my
improv
grandma
love?
too, dude. Her mom, I guess, born in like 1926, wanted to be an actress
Wow.
and came out, but it was like a failed actress who came out to Hollywood in the 40s, and like it severely affected her, like the rest of her life.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah.
That was back when like castings back then for an actress is like, don't grimace while I put out a cigarette on you. Good job, you got the role, sweetie. You know, like
Oh,
they
yeah,
really went
completely
through
different.
wild shit and it didn't get a role sometimes. That's so brutal.
Yeah, she was this
And-
failed actress, Catholic, who raised my mom, but had a mental. My mom was the oldest of 4 girls,
Okay.
and in the 50s, and my grandma like lost her mind in the late 50s when my mom was like 7, 8. Thought the bluebirds in the backyard were angels and the crows were demons. It was like straight up
Oh,
schizo
jeez.
breakdown, and my mom basically had to raise her siblings.
Holy shit.
But she's the best mom
Sure,
ever.
because
Bro,
probably partially
best
because
mom.
of that.
Because she told herself when she was 8 years old, she's like, I will never be a bad mom. Because she had the worst fucking mom ever. And it just because of mental illness, not like she was a fucking bad person.
No, yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
I
know,
what you
yeah.
mean.
You only have so much
She
free
was-
will. At a
I
certain
think it was
point.
like incredibly bipolar.
Yeah.
You know.
And back then, that's not a type of thing you really. I don't know how it worked, but I'm assuming they were diagnosed
Bipolar
We'll give you-
pop.
left and right.
We'll give you a lobotomy.
Yeah, that's- yeah,
maybe
yeah,
if it's
exactly.
really bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I mixed up the words La Bamba and lobotomy in a presentation one time. Lobotomy. I was doing a presentation on archaic medical practices, and I chose the lobotomy. And we were cooking, dude. I was about to get an A on this presentation. I love presenting shit. I had some nerd do all the research, and I'm just the face of it. And it was like the 15th time I said it in the presentation. For some reason, I had a brain fart, and I said, well, in the 1940, the La Bamba... and then everyone's like, ah! Just started attacking me like cheerleader monkeys. Like, they just hop down, dude.
I'm sure Conan in the 90s had that joke. Like, we are going to have, with the band now, a La Bamba Me. And they just,
Bamba
like, they cut out La Bamba and take him out of the band.
I think Conan's like my favorite.
It's like, yeah,
That's
it's like
such a Conan joke.
the guy
But-
I love Conan
can
so
barely
much.
sing anymore. That's dark.
Well, I'd rather have a bottle in
Yeah.
front of me. That's all I know.
True. Yeah, man. That is wild, dude. You've had a wild fucking upbringing, dog.
It was wild, yeah. I mean, my parents got down hard on me in high school for just smoking weed, doing mushrooms, a little crystal meth.
I was about to say they never caught
I
the
mean,
meth.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
I when they were that whole thing was going down, and they were like, "Why are you like seeing things that aren't there?" I was like, out of desperation, you know what I threw under the bus?
What?
Mushrooms. I told them I was having a mushroom flashback.
not mushrooms.
Mushroom flashback?
17?
You weren't in
No.
Vietnam, dog. What are you talking about?
17 year it worked. They were like, "Oh yeah, it must be hit a mushroom." But that's like, yeah. I mean, that's why mushrooms are illegal, because like high schoolers on meth are telling their parents that it's mushrooms instead of meth.
Right. So sell me meth how you were sold it as
Ooh, yeah,
a
you
kid.
meth.
This is good. This is
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
All
Like
right.
tell.
How about
I'm 17 and I'm male feminist, just trying fitting in with the girls.
let me put it this way: all my female friends were doing it. When you're in high school,
Right.
that'll make you start doing a drug.
And
whether
you
it's
never hooked up with any.
oh,
of
and
them.
also I think I'd already done like I was prescribed Ritalin, and I was already like crushing that up.
Yeah. So that, yeah.
And a
that's
lot of it
definitely-
too.
That's-
I look back at how many lines of crushed up Ritalin I was eventually doing, and it was like, dude, that's a fuck ton.
Yeah.
I like
Jesus.
big 5-6 big
Yeah.
lines of Ritalin, and like, dude,
Did you ever go?
I hated reality when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was sick of it, dude. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Damn.
fucking sick of that shit. Cause like my parents, all right, here, like I'm hardcore about the wilderness, the outdoors. I need to be in nature, like in the like true wilderness to recharge and feel like myself and like be able to be back in like Phoenix, say, or wherever, LA.
Yeah. Right.
And neither of my parents ever camped. They lived in LA since the 60s, and they'd never
And
been.
now that's all you do.
They'd never been to Yosemite.
Urban
Wow.
They'd never take me, like they just never took me out any other
city
I've
people,
been to so
yeah.
many places where I'm like the Grand Canyon. Like I was just like, how on earth did you never take me here?
Because it seems like it's a big hole in the ground, but you don't realize how big this hole is. It's
So,
like
crazy thing. all right,
crazy big.
here's the
dog.
thing about the Grand Canyon. I'm into geology and rocks and like.
Oh yeah, we know.
I'm also,
we know you're
I'm
into
also,
crystal.
I'm also able to kind of make a model in my head of what I'm looking at and really understand the scale of it. But I can totally see how people would be like, "This is fucking overrated.
Yeah.
This is just
Oh,
a
yeah, for
big
sure.
fucking hole
Dude,
in the ground."
When I
For
went
sure.
up to go see it with my parents and my family, I was such a little piece of shit. Like 8 years old, they're taking us on a vacation to see a nature's wonder,
I straight
and I was like,
up,
"It's a fucking hole. It's
I-
bullshit."
I yelled, I screamed into it, kind of expecting to hear an echo,
Yeah.
and you don't hear shit. That's how fucking like I straight up was like, I'll hear something back in like a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's so fucking big, your voice turns into you don't hear anything.
Well, if you scream
like,
and then like shit just starts collapsing apart, and you're just like, "Oh," shit." You just gotta walk away.
but it was fucking cool, man.
Yeah. So, your tie with nature, is it just? Can you get a similar thing like if you're in a cityscape like Chicago or New York, and there really is no nature?
I don't have
how-
plans to do comedy in places like that.
Headphones,
My
like-
my plans
yeah.
are to do comedy Denver, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, Phoenix, Tucson, San Diego, LA, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to do comedy in places where I want to like go hiking and
Yeah,
backpacking
yeah.
and really
Hell
like
yeah.
cuz that's exactly I need that to recharge. It like I truly relish in the wilderness.
I'm
Like I went,
in
dude.
it.
I checked out Grand Canyon, and then I went to Tucson on Tuesday and spent a bunch of time Tuesday and Wednesday in Saguaro,
What clubs?
Saguaro
what clubs
National
did
Park.
you do?
What's up?
What clubs did you do in Tucson? Were they were open mics?
I
or-
did just open mics on Tuesday,
Okay.
but here's the thing about Tucson. That was the kind of the mini roller coaster of my trip. I did this one open mic. I won't say which is which, but I did one open mic in Tucson on a Tuesday. And
How was that?
was really excited to do it. It looked like it was going to be dope, and I was kind of networking before, and like fuck yeah, and had not a bad set, but my atheism shit bombed.
Oh, really?
which was kind of what happened to me in Colorado Springs. And someone warned me too when I was in Denver.
Oh, because
Like,
because I was about to do my
Christian as
I was,
fuck.
yeah I was about to do my first.
Tucson are really very godly.
I
That's the place where I go and I'm like, I need to pray here.
well exactly.
That's why I'm like, fuck you guys for not.
So
laughing.
all right, so before I did Colorado Springs, someone in Denver warned me. They're like, oh, before you do 3 E's, save your atheism shit because it's going to bomb. Like
Wow.
that town is like 3/4 Christian, and I disregarded that because I was like, this is Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Just like God, you didn't believe him.
I figured it would be kind of like Durango.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, so it won't like crush, but they were right. 100% right.
Really?
As soon as I did my atheism shit, I got this like pullback from like 3/4 of the crowd.
Yeah.
I could, it was exactly right. But so that's the vibe I got from my first mic in Tucson, where I was like, what is Tucson, the Colorado Springs of Arizona? Because I thought that was Flagstaff.
Yeah, it is Flagstaff. That's nice.
I've
then
never
I-
been to Tucson. I
And then
don't know what it's like.
for the fuck of it, I go to the other mic,
Yeah.
not expecting it to be good. And as soon as I walk in the room, it's one of those mics that's like 25 people in the crowd, and they're all like scream laughing at who's on stage. Whoever's on stage is a murdering, and I'm immediately just like, yes. I don't care when I get up on the list. This is going to be fucking good. And I was like, I signed up on the list. I was maybe 4 or 5 comics away, 5-minute sets. And no one was as good as the host of that fucking set. Crushed. And again, I'm not going to say who it was. But that was my mic. That was a fucking, like, my crowd, my mic, all the atheist shit. Like, claps from the crowd, you know what I mean? Like, opposite. And I remember being like, okay, so Tucson
baby.
Tucson is divided. And I told these other comics after, I'm like, so is Tucson just divided on Tuesdays between the progressive liberals and the Christians? And they're like, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, because any place where you have a majority of whatever it is, religion, gender, whatever, the other side is going to have to pull back and accommodate for the lack of their population in that capita, in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's why, like, women comics, a lot of shitty guy comics would be like, why are they only having, like, lady-only shows? That's fucked up. And I'm like, no, like, they feel like they need to accommodate because of their lack of the percentage in the population that shows in comedy. And it's just simple math. It's not personal. There's nothing personal when they don't book you as a white man, like me, and they're having an all-woman lineup. It wouldn't make sense. I'm not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. It's not personal. Doesn't matter. I don't know.
I only do bad in comedy because I identify as a female comic. That's
You
what I'm saying.
identify, okay?
okay.
And where are they? Table 54.
Yeah,
okay?
it's
Come on,
I'll take
run them.
All right, I got it.
Damn. So you told me that your job is closing down soon.
My closing what?
Your job is closing down?
Oh, my job is closing down soon. Yes.
Yeah. Damn, you already forgot you had one.
I love this job. It's the easiest, chillest job I've ever had,
Mm.
and I make as much in salary as I do in tips because I'm like
Jesus
really.
Christ.
It's a psychedelic cafe.
Oh wow, is it like a kava bar?
I'm a barista. Yeah, kava.
It is a kava
like
bar?
all the like reishi, lion's mane, and chaga.
Yeah, for sure.
And, like
bro, I
Yeah,
know all
it's
about
this-
that shit.
yeah.
Sedona shit, baby.
Mountain Monk in Durango. I've worked there.
Check it out, baby.
Yeah,
They're
come
closing
by,
down.
dude. It was
Come
cool.
by.
Dude, it's the best job I've ever had. Like, I'm not. It's
Aw,
not
that
making me
sucks,
rich,
man.
but I've made some of my best friends working there. Like, all the coolest fucking people come to the town's psychedelic cafe. I was hosting a mic there for a bit. It's been fun, but they're moving locations, I guess. So I guess I technically.
Have you been to Sedona?
Yeah, I have.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Everyone was saying
I feel like you- I feel like
Sedona's
you'd
the
love
Malibu of Arizona, bruh.
Ew.
No.
Ew.
That's
That's 'cause there's rehabs
I was about
there.
to ask. Can I have you
oh,
something?
yeah.
Are
Hey,
you sure?
hey, cool.
I'll
Just
finish
finish
that, yeah.
this one for me.
Because I'm such an asshole. and
Dude,
I'm
that's a little
taking
too much
a
hair
bunch
of the
beer
dog that
from-
bit me, dude.
Oh really?
Last
I never
night-
have enough hair of the dog.
I don't have enough
We're
hair.
not in Tempe, bro.
Last night Cole slept over here though, and I was telling you, you can sleep on my bed.
I know.
It's okay. We can
Yes.
make it work. And you insisted on sleeping on my floor,
Yeah.
and you got better sleep than I did.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
fuck?
What is it like to love yourself? You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like, what is even? I'd rather sleep on the floor. I don't want to bother somebody. You know. I don't think I got better. I just am such. I feel like I'm a bear. It's easier for me to just like I'm just heavy, and I'm always full of dairy. You know what I mean? I'm just
You
always
are,
just
yeah.
about to fall asleep somewhere.
Yeah, you are kind of like a bear. You're always
I'm
sleepy,
just-
filled with sugar.
I'm always rubbing
and
my belly. I
honey.
asked my
yeah.
coworkers, I'm like, can we rub my belly like when I'm really just acting like an asshole? I'm just like hungover the next day, and they're always, they're always like, what the fuck is wrong? I think it's a funny question. I like to weird people out, you know?
Cole, can you redo that sexual harassment chorus again? I just want to
I
make
don't say
sure.
it to my female coworkers.
Oh.
That makes it okay,
Yeah.
right? That's because I'm not. Because
Yeah, you're right.
They don't know I'm gay. I mean, huh?
Dude, what if you just fucked Bear? Wouldn't that be so
Oh.
funny? Bear's a small little like 18-year-old kid who works at the comedy clubhouse of comedy.
Hey, 26.
He's 26. Oh, dude,
No weird.
come on, get like the Revenant, you know? How about you tear that bear up? Okay,
I will.
get back for Leo
I will.
DiCaprio. Damn. So yeah, what time is it? Cole, you still need to rinse off, no? Yeah, you still need a shower.
You saw your bird bath in your backyard, right? I'm just gonna roll around in there.
Oh yeah,
Like a pond or something. I don't like to use clean water. Freaks me
No?
out. When you guys don't actually use water when you shower, do you?
do
That'd
you
be
use a
weird.
washcloth?
Do you guys use soap?
Is a washcloth a dirty thing? Like I
do you
use
do?
washcloths. It's just something
I
I
don't think
picked
that's
up throughout years. Is like I feel cleaner when I use a washcloth. All
Well, I
right.
don't think that's a hot take.
No, because I don't know. Sometimes people are like, "That's fucking dirty" and shit.
Really?
Okay.
I brought my friend to the Stir Crazy show. This girl Sierra, shout out from Phoenix.
Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no one can hear me.
I was like trying to. I was trying to.
Yo, that took me a second too.
I was like, I didn't
I'm
want to be a
hot.
dick.
I've done a whole podcast doing that though.
Really?
Yeah. All right.
Really boosted as fuck.
I smoked
But
meth and I thought I was doing a
all right.
You
podcast.
can hear mice outside. Like it's so boosted.
I took my friend with me. This girl who's like one of my best friends, and like right before the Stir Crazy mic, I was in my car and I grabbed this like razor out of the side of my car door and just like started shaving. And she's like, "Are you dry shaving in front of me?"
I dry
That's
shave
so funny.
sometimes.
She guilted me so bad for dry shaving. She's like, "Oh my god, dude,
I
I
dry
can't
shave.
believe I'm with a dude who's dry shaving."
What's her hold up with dry shaving?
I don't know.
Is it
but
bad?
She. I mean, I'm never
think
gonna
it's
do
the
it again.
idea.
I guess it's
I
one
don't
of those
think
things.
it's. I
you shouldn't
guess,
do.
but I do it. I mean,
I guess not in front of a fucking
not in
pretty,
front of,
pretty
yeah,
girl.
Yeah, not in front of an. I've never been around. Thank God I'm never around those.
Yes, I know.
Really helps me out
They
a
don't
lot.
let you get close.
No.
Yeah.
If only
I'm
she
not allowed
had
to be.
seen, if only she had seen the bottles of urine in the back
Yeah,
of my
right.
car, the gallon jugs of piss from this road trip that I stashed behind her seat.
They're not even his.
That's a seat warmer. She's like, oh, look at
Do you have seat warmers? No,
It's a 5-gallon jug of
there's a
piss.
crystal geyser of hot urine under your seat.
That is so fucking insane, dude.
It's Crystal
You're-
Geyser right next to a bottle of crystal meth.
Dude, you are a full-on road dog. You're hiding
becoming one,
jugs
dude.
of
This
piss
is-
from ladies.
dude,
You're
this-
a road dog.
Before April 2022, I had never done comedy outside California.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, it's really cool.
Damn,
Like, it's
bro,
so
you're
Southern
invigorating.
California.
You're going hard. You're going
Right.
hard then.
Oh, once you've done it, you're just like,
Yeah.
that's life.
Yeah.
That's
It's
living.
so much fun.
That is
Okay, so-
living. Bro, fucking like, I don't know, like, you meet so many people in waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, a good set in front, at a major comedy club, that's
Right.
like one of the most fun you'll ever fucking have.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
Just, I mean, because here's the thing about stand-up comedy. If you have a bad set, leave. I don't understand these fucking people who have bad sets and then still hang around and try to meet people. Like, you're gonna meet hacks like you.
Well,
I guess hacks need to stay together.
Yeah, true.
They do. They have their own social.
A pack of
You're right,
hacks.
They totally do.
They stay
It's a pack
warm
of
in the
hacks,
winter.
yeah.
They do
I mean,
something.
why my group chat? Yeah, there's
They-
like 16 of us, dude. Yeah, check
Dude.
it out. Icarus 316.
I think I'm in that
But
group chat. That's
having
so weird
a
that you
good-
say
dude,
that.
I added you too. Yeah.
Having a good set and then staying around till everyone's left is like my favorite thing.
Right.
Cause that's like, I'm not good at anything but stand-up comedy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's the one thing in my life that I have turned out to be the best at. And so to actually have a good set and then
Yeah.
for people who haven't seen you before is my favorite thing.
What else would you do? Like, what is an honest backup plan beside like crashing into an on ramp? You know, like what?
Yeah, besides hurting myself or stand-up comedy, I don't know. I
Hurting
feel
yourself meaning like Jackass type shit, right? As long as you film it, it's 13 Reasons Why or Jackass. It's okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I read a lot, and I write a lot. So I feel like
I imagine you reading while driving, doing 85, just like flipping a page.
dude, I read and write a lot, and I was the class clown in every class I was ever in. And that's why I'm like, how the fuck did it take me so long to decide to
Realize,
try till 26 to try stand-up comedy when I had never not been the class clown. But in my head, I was like, I'm just gonna be the lead. I'm gonna be like Mike Patton of Mr. Bungle or something. Or like Frank Zappa. I'm gonna be like this comedic musician who everyone thinks is a genius, but it's always weird, trippy, silly music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be like the next Frank Zappa. And then I realized, like, dude, music is hard. The hard thing about music, it's the collaboration. Yeah. It's finding the bandmates, and I got so endlessly frustrated with it that even though I basically put 10,000 hours into guitar and piano, I threw it out the window and said, I'm going to try stand-up comedy.
Wow.
Damn.
So that is what you would have done, is you maybe would have just done music.
It's there for me to go back to. But you talk about rustiness,
well,
it wouldn't take that long.
For love of it, though, it's kind of hard because you still have to have like stand-up for me, and I'm not even saying it's the best thing it's the thing that I've done best at, but like I'm convinced I'm not going to stop, hopefully.
But it's the fandom that got you into it. And same with music. When I was in high school and college, something about I had my ear to the ground. I knew everything about progressive metal and grindcore, and I would go.
Had his ear to the ground last night.
Yeah, I knew everything about I
forgot.
And I was trying to be, like Siopus and Between the Buried and Me and Behold the Octopus. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, except like with more humor. Right. Siopus, I must say, if you've never heard the band Siopus.
What are you saying, Siopus?
P-S-Y-O-P-U-S.
Oh, I would have guessed how to spell that. Yeah,
like a psychological opus.
Right. Oh,
Siopus.
okay.
But
are you call me dumb?
Best metal band.
No,
bro. Best metal band because it's grindcore. It's like technical death metal grindcore, but with the best sense of humor. And it's like unbelievably virtuosic. You should check them out if you're into metal. That's crazy. That I always thought that was like that band. That's what I wanted to do when I was like 8. I saw them live when I was 18, and to this day, I've never seen a performance like that in my life.
Wow. Music is so much doper than comedy.
Like
comedy is more consistent. You can yada yada, but
good music when it's 4
so
or
much
5
better.
people, and it's all this like stop-start technical death metal math rock kind of psycho shit, and they have it down.
Yeah.
It's some of the most. I would laugh. See, that's the thing. I wasn't into stand-up comedy at the time, but I would go to shows that were so chaotically insane, and then suddenly they break into like a jazz section, like so all over the place music that it would just leave you laughing.
Yeah.
It was like I got my comedy fix from music back in the day. I would stand there laughing my ass off at how good they were.
Yeah, how amazing it was. Yeah, totally.
But how surprising it was.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's a shock value.
I always felt good music. Like that's why I hate pop music, is because I can see within the first 10 seconds of the song what the next 3 minutes are going to be.
Yeah, exactly what they're going to be.
But not with math rock, not with progressive death metal. Like I was always like, I love music that is unpredictable and surprises me.
I have a dog brain, so I like, honestly, I like some pop music. Most of the time I just mostly listen to
there's guilty pleasures, of course.
Right. But I sometimes when I'm just like clocking off work, I'm getting in my car driving home, I just hear a song on the radio go like beep boop boop beep doop, and I'm like, yes, I know exactly where we're going, and then I don't listen to the song. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what pop music is for. Yeah. Is for listening to the intro, or like listening to the part that people use in their TikToks, and not listening to it. That's the best part of it.
I will say, if the Nazis had won World War II,
I like this theory already.
You would hear similar music being pumped through the public spaces. Lots of 4/4 predictable. Because you know what kind of music the Nazis like burned in the late 30s?
Trap music.
Jazz.
Okay. What if it was UK drill? It was fucking.
No, they burned like experimental avant-garde atonal jazz music. That's what they were like. That is the enemy.
I mean, also, Hitler was on that stuff too.
He was.
Yeah, so I bet
on the Iceman. They call him the Iceman, baby.
Yeah, I bet they're so down, dude. Yeah. Let's not get into that riff of how Nazis maybe had a good time. Let's not talk about that. That's wild.
If you go to a Panera and they're playing if they're playing Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum at a Panera, you know it's not owned by fascists.
What is this music you keep bringing up? just say Pink Floyd. I want to know that you know who that is, because all these,
of course, Sid
absolutely,
Barrett.
right.
Sid
all
Barrett
the people
was
you
one of
reference,
my early heroes. I was like,
you never
okay,
heard.
I'll be good at music till I'm 25. Then do a bunch of acid and live with my mom and garden till I'm 60 and still be considered a rock legend.
You never heard Panther Dryball? Come on, man, dude. Chocolate Doorknob?
Bro, my
Guys.
parents sent me to rehab, right, in like early 2005.
And you got into math rock, which is worse than meth. Let's be honest. Which is way more annoying than having you trip out at 2
There's
a.m.
no rehab for math rock.
You're too far gone, dog. You just gotta of mice and men that motherfucker.
But they sent me to this rehab, and it was like February 2005. And like early on, I let everyone know, like, I'm here for psychedelics. I'm like, I tried to become that archetype at the rehab. Like, I'm the psychedelic kid. And like 2 weeks in, Hunter S. Thompson dies. And all the leaders keep coming up to me being like, hey, your hero died. And I was like so butthurt, but looking back, that's the funniest thing
fucking
ever that they
hilarious.
all knew. I was like,
That's so wild.
hey, your buddy died.
Didn't they shoot his ashes out of a cannon?
Did they really?
Yeah, Johnny
Probably.
Depp was involved in it too.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, they were friends.
Well, yeah, for sure. Because he had.
Because
fucking-
he portrayed him,
Yeah,
and
Oh,
Johnny Depp's a fucking weirdo too. So both of them got along very. They just did blow. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
that happened.
No, yeah, Hunter S. Thompson loved the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which is rare. It's rare that the writer
It's
of a
rare,
book
yeah.
loves the movie. You know what other writer of a book loved the movie? The writer of Fight Club.
Oh, really? Chuck,
You know what he said?
really
He
like
said
that?
the movie was better than the book.
Holy
Wow.
shit, that's a fucking compliment.
Right?
I don't know, like, because I saw the movie first, and then I read the book as an angsty teenage boy.
Now I don't
And-
want to read the book. I saw the movie first and then heard the author say that.
he's
so,
like, there's no
okay,
point.
I guess I
No,
can
no.
save myself.
But like, if you read the book knowing the turn that happens, the way everything is phrased, there is not one slip up in the grammar or the, how would you say, like, the narration from the point of view of the narrator with Tyler Durden
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
The, it's the Sixth Sense, basically.
Right,
It's
yeah,
the
but
Sixth
it's
Sense, but-
so cool to see it written down, and it's the same thing portrayed, and I feel like it's like that switch, that turn is better portrayed in the book, but I guess in the movie it was a better portrayal of the meta idea of the movie of like all these men raised without men in the household become chaotic.
I just
anarchists
love
and-
that in the movie he's sitting there in his office pontificating about, yeah, one day in the future it'll be fucking Planet Starbucks, and Starbucks like licensed their logo to let him sit there and talk shit about them. Like that's
Wow.
fucking
Right.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
You know what movie I think
they go to a Mac store and destroy Macs. Steve Jobs let
You're
them
right.
license Macintosh
Yeah.
to do that. Like, you know what
Huh.
I mean?
IKEA.
That movie's fucking amazing.
That movie's
IKEA,
filled
yeah.
with like the best possible product placement, where it's like, yeah,
Right.
we'll let you destroy us because our company sucks. Throw us in the trash can like
Right.
the Starbucks cup.
And Bonham Carter, what's her name? Sarah Bonham Carter. She
know-
was
I know who
in
you're talking about.
Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
I know who you're talking about.
Movies
She's
like
fucking
that will
great.
make you want to
She's
read,
great.
though. You know what I
Harry
mean?
Potter?
Like,
Yeah.
Or Fight Club.
you find out based on this was a book. Fuck yeah, dude! Books must be not
You know
all
what?
bad.
You know what I think movie they could have done better versus the book was Mein Kampf. I feel like they
Oh,
could've-
really? Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Jojo
really read it-
Rabbit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We all should.
Did you even
like,
see
I
the source
wish-
material,
I
Jojo
would-
Rabbit?
Like, I took a World War II class in high school. They should have made us all read Mein Kampf. You know what I mean? Like, that should be something like, you know.
I don't know.
I just don't like how they-
No one's read that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's read
I just
that.
don't like how they had Gary Coleman.
Same
in
with the
mind.
Unabomber manifesto. And I want to have a joke where I'm like, I talk about the Ted Kaczynski as though he's like, Henry David Thoreau, John Muir, Ted Kaczynski, the great naturalist writers.
A lot of people nowadays know that name, but they can't tie it to who it is.
Oh,
Yeah, people
dude.
don't-
All right,
yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so with stand-up comedy, I bat about 200 as far as new jokes working.
Mhm.
I have to throw about 80% of my jokes away.
200,
And-
that means
and
1/5.
At least half the jokes I
Right.
write,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
at least half of the jokes I write that I end up telling on stage go over people's heads to the point where I'm like, okay, it's not that the joke's not funny, it's that people don't know what the fuck I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
totally.
Yeah.
And that is my Achilles heel
It's-
with my
It's
with
either
comedy.
too witty or too quick, not
'Cause
explain.
well,
It's
here's
not
the thing.
drawn out. You don't want to dumb it down.
When your
too much.
natural, I think when your natural sense of humor is
Frasier?
tends to go over people's heads, that's okay. Because some people go, okay, well, I'm just gonna pander then. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
get so sick of it going over people's heads that you just want to people please.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's
yeah.
flipping the board. That's just
Yeah,
not
it totally
trying to
is.
learn a different technique.
But here's
Right.
the thing: it has to make you laugh.
It has to,
if
yeah.
it works, you may end up being. It's like careful what you wish for, because you get a joke that works.
So
You're gonna
true.
tell that joke upwards of
That
500
is
times
so fucking
on
true.
stage. So it might as
You
well be
better
something
stand
that
by
you
it,
truly
yeah.
think is funny. Because 300-400 times in, like there will be some times where you're just a robot going through the motions. But every now and then, I'm able to be like, hey, I remember the first time. I'm able to kid myself with,
Right.
and truly, or just see the delight in the audience and put myself in their shoes and really
Yeah.
empathize and feel it. A joke really never gets old if you're truly able to like
Good
delight
fucking point.
yourself in what's going on and not get jaded about
Right.
it. Because like I worry, dude, that one day I'm gonna like feel the way about comedy that I felt about music.
Sure, I totally
Dude,
understand. Why that would
10
be a
years
worry.
10 years in to like practicing music 4 hours a day every day, and you're suddenly just like, I'm gonna stop doing this and try a new art. I hope that doesn't happen with stand-up comedy, because it's a fucking like
But I think-
slog.
but I think
it's
that-
a fucking
yeah,
it's a hard pivot
For
like,
sure. But I think that if you really love it, that won't happen. You
It's
know,
like
it's kinda
changing.
you
It's like
believe.
changing your major 3 years in.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Right.
like I'm gonna have to be in college that
But you
much
did
longer.
it 10 years in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
wild, dog.
Well, straight up.
Fuck.
It's,
Damn, dude.
But it's still there. That's the thing about music. It's still there. I can spend a few months
it
brushing
can
up,
take it
brushing
away
up
from
on
you,
it,
yeah.
and truly impress people to the point where they won't really think I ever really took a break. You know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
the way I feel about stand-up comedy at 34 is like a bit behind. I see buddies that are 22, 20,
Yeah, but
25.
that's not an age thing, I don't think, though, right?
It's a
Yeah.
hustle thing.
So, yeah, it's just
It's a hustle
different.
thing. Like here's how I would put it. I kind of do the bare minimum to become a professional stand-up comedian, which technically isn't lazy. It's just I'm like, it's one of the hardest things in the world to become a professional stand-up comedian.
Sure.
But my hustle level just isn't enough to become like the greatest stand-up comedian.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe it'll get there, but I definitely gotta.
Dude, I'm gonna cap out right around like Carlos Mencia, Aziz Ansari.
Well, I feel like you get momentum, and
Yes.
you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You never know
Maybe
what's gonna
maybe
happen.
2023 I'll get up 500 times and
True.
really start making breakthroughs, because I love leveling up.
Yeah.
That feeling of really being like, oh, dude, that's the best set I've ever had. Like I'm at a new level.
I'm
It's
constantly
fucking
leveling down. I'm constantly like on low health with
You're like,
everything.
hey, let me work at a comedy club.
I'm like,
so I can
I'm like,
do-
I'm like, hey, I'm gonna. You know what I should do to do comedy is do less comedy.
Yeah.
You know what'll help me?
You know, bombing.
Nothing.
Dude, well, here's the thing about bombing is really healthy. I was telling
I'm
you
cool,
this
I'm
last
cool,
night.
I'm cool with bombing. I don't do comedy enough to even bomb anymore. If that makes sense. Like I have a tight 5 and even like a tight 6 or 7 to the point now where like I don't even write enough and I don't hit enough mics where I know that's gonna work, and that's a problem. You can't, like, if I'm gonna really want to progress, I need to write more. I need to do that risk. But I don't even hit enough open mics. It's, you know what I mean? If like the mics I do hit are somewhere where it's gonna work, probably. To be honest, I'm not even bragging. It's a bad thing because it's not even amazing jokes. I don't even like the jokes anymore. You know what I mean? Like at all. I don't like the shit I do.
Yeah, we
At
have
all.
we have homeless people in Sedona. We just treat them better.
Oh my god, dude. I don't even know how long I've been doing that joke. Like I really don't. It's fucked
Yeah.
up. And I've only done comedy for a year. And I'm sitting here,
Right.
I'm like, like you can sometimes
He's
you
a
can
true
tell,
veteran.
depending on my day,
Yeah.
depending on like how I'm feeling that day, I decide whether or not I want to put like energy
Right.
into the bit, or if I want to just do it
Yeah.
because I know how to do it because I've done it so long. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Which is awful. That's not how
I'm
you do
hardcore
comedy.
into comedy advice. I feel like I've found it all, and I love Ralphie May's advice about comedy.
Ralphie May was great
It's
with
such
that.
Stop
good shit.
eating. Yeah.
No,
That
his whole
was-
thing about bombing. If you're ever bombing, like, or if you're ever about to go up and you can see the crowd is not good.
Yeah.
It's not the comic that you're about to follow. It's just a really bad. I always say tricky.
Sure.
I never-
That's a better way.
Difficult.
I never-
It's
I think that's a better
the
way.
crowd
wanted to
isn't
call-
bad. They are there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because no crowd is unsolvable.
No,
Yes.
it's a puzzle. Yeah.
So I never want to call a crowd bad, but there are some tricky crowds. His advice was always, if you get like a B crowd, do B material.
Mm.
And he would tell them he was doing B material.
Yeah, but they were
Be like,
but
straight up, y'all are a B crowd. I'm going to do B material.
But they're not even the type of people.
And they'll be like whipped into shape by
Sure,
that.
sure.
That will like reality check. Like, yo, okay, he's like truth, dude.
Yeah.
And Patrice O'Neill would always say this too. Like, you can't fuck with the truth. That is the secret of stand-up comedy. If you want to hear it, you can't fuck with the truth. If you want to go hardcore 100% truth, an audience is going to, and like vulnerable truth, you'll find that in your joke writing. The more you tell on yourself,
Totally. Oh, totally.
the more the audience is going to be like, oh, this is a show.
Hey guys,
We're-
how you doing? 2014, I committed a murder. Let me tell you about it. Okay.
That's one of the secrets of comedy writing. Tell on yourself, because that is fascinating to an audience. To have you spill your dirt.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, as a comedy audience, I'm like, oh, really? Seriously? Because the truth. Here's the thing. I see people do pretty well with stories that I know aren't true. Have you seen that? Like, I have a good barometer.
Oh, yeah,
I have, like,
100%.
No, I'm a big fan of Burt Kreischer.
Radar.
Yes.
Like, my radar sometimes, and yeah, specials. I'll see it from open mic level to a Netflix special. I'll be like, this story isn't true. It's
so
far-fetched.
obvious,
It's
though.
far-fetched
It's so-
to me. And you can murder with near-fetched shit. That is just...
But how do you? I personally, I don't think I would ever want to do that. If I'm gonna personally, I don't know if I would ever be capable. Like, I'm just not into that. Because for me, I feel like if I were to present a fake story, and even if it was like a well-written joke, it's funnier to me if it's an actual story and I write it.
Well, here's the thing about comedian on stage and the audience. It's likability is. I mean, Carson said this. It's 90% of stand-up comedy. If they like you, you know, you could be doing a little throwaway nothing. They'll laugh.
Yeah,
You could like I've seen comics on stage who are so endearing, charismatic, and lovable, not just like beyond likable.
Yeah.
That they tell a joke that fails, and then them blushing about it
Yeah.
gets this like almost a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? 'Cause there's something to be said about likability, and I've heard that the formula for likability is confidence plus humility.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll go full bore confidence, and people will see it as like a Napoleonic complex that short man syndrome. He's just confident and talking, puffing out his chest. But I have the same amount of confidence, but I start off my set by doing something that's not overly self-deprecating, but still self-aware.
Well, and here's the thing. So one of the secrets to likability, confidence plus humility. So the confidence to be humble really is being vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's if you give the audience kind of upfront something like that's a little embarrassing about yourself.
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about self-deprecation being one of the pillars of stand-up comedy. You know, it's
Yeah.
one of those things. Crowd work, self-deprecation. You know, it's like one of those things you should try to master. And especially, because it'll make the audience really pulled in and on your side to give them a piece of you that feels truly kind of mortifying.
Yeah,
to share.
but that's like respect at a certain point too. Someone's gonna respect.
That's I would say that's one of the secrets of comedy is like try to aim for if you're writing about yourself tell on yourself. Say something that's really fucking like borderline. I wouldn't even want people to know this, but walk that edge.
Yep.
Don't walk the edge, because every comedian when they start, they're trying to be an edgelord. That is the
Totally.
stereotype
So true.
of a first-year comedian is, well, this hasn't been done. You know why it hasn't been done? Because
it's like
only 1/10 of the people are going to be laughing at that. Only the fucked up psychos are going to like. Everyone, like, their first year in stand-up comedy has those jokes like, the punchline is, and I'm a serial killer. I murder people. Right? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
Or for me, I'm so premise heavy that it was just premises that were terrible on a moral level. It was like, what if Barney was gay? And it was just bad, dumb ideas, and some shit stuck to the wall, and you keep those around. But then other jokes, looking back and seeing jokes I used to do about like talking about fucking cats and shit, well written
Which,
jokes.
by the way, that joke was not the worst joke.
It
ever.
is well written.
That's actually, I kind of like that joke.
But I did that in front of my parents, dog.
Yeah.
It was their cat. I'm talking about fucking their cat, dog.
I grade on a curve. I've realized because like early on, I could listen to a set from 2014 and now grade it about D-.
Yeah.
But back then I would have graded it about a B- because my whole self thing was different. You know.
Yeah, you're right. And you should always be growing, and you should always look back into the past and kind of cringe, because Watching your own stand-up is fucking hard.
Yeah, and you know what was part of what was making people laugh at all at my shit early on was how into it I was. That was it. That was it. Because like
it was a performance. It's the passion.
God bless me early on. I really
Yeah.
did think what I was saying was funny, and like I think that was part of why people were laughing because like this dude he thinks he's a cop. And, you know, it's cute.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Damn. Well, this was a great podcast, man. We got a bunch of
fun.
stories out. I got to really
fun.
learn about you, and we got to come out to fucking Colorado sometime. Or Salt Lake.
You gotta hit us up too when you're back here.
Oh
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
Don't come to Durango. I'll come to Phoenix.
Okay,
You really? You'd rather-
yeah, we have places to sleep. So yeah, just hit us up, room and board and everything. Plug your shit one more time because I want to make sure people follow you out here.
Follow me at Sean Lubin, Instagram and TikTok.
Lubin those assholes,
can
all
see
right,
how-
baby. Watch out,
I
he's
mean,
coming through.
My TikTok especially has like a lot of clips. So
Yeah, check out TikTok too. Clip Lord and Young Cool Edens.
SeanLubin.com. Go to SeanLubin.com for shows.
Oh wow, you got a
sick.
fucking website. You got a website.
We got a real comic on the
podcast. Yes.
Easy to impress.
So easy. I'm like,
Squarespace.
Wait,
Wait,
you
hold on a
bought a
minute.
URL for $15?
Oh, I'm not letting one of my enemies buy it and talk shit on me.
Yo, that's a brilliant idea. I'm gonna buy AndrewOriana.com.
I was just about to say.
Yes, let's
No,
do
I'm
it.
gonna buy AndyChung.com. That's what I'm gonna do.
And every iteration, AndyChungComedy.com, AndyChungFunny. Everything.
That's exactly why I
All right.
bought it and pay $16 a month on
because
Squarespace.
just in case some fuckers like us.
I have
Yeah.
enemies, yo.
like,
They're
damn, I
gonna
haven't
do
talked
it.
to Sean in a while. I'm gonna buy his website.
SeanLubin.com. Fraud. Plagiarist.
Yo, so thank you again for
Well,
tuning in.
it's,
Cool.
December 1st. This is the only thing I have to
December
plug.
1st.
December 1st, Stir Crazy Comedy Club.
Stir Crazy, come out, go see him. It's a great ass open mic. But yeah, like, subscribe. I'll be clipping this out.
I'm on a show.
Oh, it's a
It's
show.
not open mic, but it's all good.
Yo, then plug the whole thing,
I said
dog.
that's all I had to plug. Is be there, be there, be square. Stir Crazy December 1st. It's alright. It's fine. It's fine. Not a
Dude,
big
Cole,
deal.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good.
What was that noise? Do you want to still take a shower?
Please.
All right, we're gonna go watch him take a shower. Have a good night,
Thank you
everybody.
so
Love
much.
you guys.
Oh, peace and love,
dude,
baby.
dude,
Take care.
Sean.